We welcome on SNY's Niki Lattarulo live right here to this Wednesday on the Early Line on SportsGrid. Nikki, thank you so much for taking the time to join us here bright and early on TEL.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Always a pleasure talking with you guys.
And Nikki, a quick turnaround. You were live inside Madison Square Garden last night for game number 5 between the Knicks and the Sixers. We'll get your thoughts, your reactions to the Tyrese Maxey game in just a moment. But the entirety of New York sports, pretty good at the moment. I love this graphic that our producers made as we dive through team by team, sport by sport. The New York Rangers, the President's Trophy winners in the National Hockey League, advancing to the second round of the playoffs with a 4-game sweep over the Caps. The Knicks still have the series lead over the 76ers. The Yankees off to a strong 9-12 start, and the Giants did not draft J.J. McCarthy. Joe Frizo, that is very good stuff. But Nikki, how would you describe the overall vibe around New York sports at the moment?
Listen, I grew up here, diehard New York sports fan my whole life, but the vibe right now is just different. I feel like the way my parents talk about how New York sports were when they were our age was just like incredible all around. I feel like I haven't experienced that yet. It always feels like one team's good and everyone else is bad. So I'm loving this. I think covering the games too, experiencing how the fans really rally around these teams is really exciting. So I think one team has to make it all the way this year. I'm only asking for one team to make it all the way.
And if we take a look at that one team here, I mean, Madison Square Garden certainly has been rocking, but in the Rangers' favorite as well, easily dispatching over the Washington Capitals. What's the vibe around the city on the Rangers? Because typically when we see a team that wins the President's Cup, you say, uh-oh, there's usually a curse. Can the Rangers break that curse and go on a long run here, Nikki?
Listen, I think what they did in the first round of the playoffs was not necessarily surprising just because I think they were by far the better team over Washington, but I just think that seeing them have that dominance kind of silenced people because, as we know, they were very hot and cold this season. They would go on a crazy good run, and then it would be like, okay, they lost 8 of 10 or whatever the crazy numbers were. So I think for them to do that right off the bat kind of made people believe even more. But I think it's a whole different ball game now when you get Carolina here. They're head and shoulders better than DC. So I think there's a very small margin of error in that series versus what there was against the Caps. But MSG is going to be crazy. I think you win this first game, it really sets the tone for the whole series.
The Rangers will have home ice advantage against the Carolina Hurricanes, but the Canes are the Stanley Cup favorites and the favorites at -154 to win the series outright over New York. Of course, the last 10 winners of the President's Trophy for the best regular season record in the NHL have failed to reach the Stanley Cup final. Still holding out hope, though, for the Blue Shirts here in the state of New York. Now we go to Madison Square Garden. But to basketball, game number 5 last night, Nikki. You were there inside the Mecca. Yep. The Knicks were up by 6, under 30 seconds remaining, and then Tyrese Maxey happened. What was your instant takeaway from when Maxey hit the logo 3 to tie the game at 97 all and send it to overtime?
I was just like, why aren't they fouling? Why didn't they foul? But I think that was what everyone thought. And even in the locker room after, they were like, yeah, I think it was a miscommunication. We didn't really talk about it during the free throws. And then Mitchell Robinson fouling him for the 4-point play. He was like, I have to take that like a man, put that behind me. We got to move forward. So I think the end was kind of a miscommunication. And I think the whole arena kind of could tell. They were like, it got very quiet. It was like, wait, what just happened? Like, you can't put the ball in his hands in that position after he has 46 points in this game. He sat just 1 minute. He needs to be stopped. Joel Embiid, they're doing a better job on him. Now you got to stop Tyrese Maxey because he'll be the difference in game 6, and we don't need them forcing a game 7. So I think the arena was just like nervous the whole game. Even when the Knicks were up, it was like anytime the Sixers hit a shot, it was like, oh no, like they're clawing their way back. The Knicks were up 10. So I think game 6 is going to be a huge test for the Knicks. I think they have all the pressure on them right now when you're up 3-1 and now there's a game 6. It's a little iffy, especially in Philly.
I agree with you there on the foul, but the crazy part about it was I think Maxey pulled up so deep out there that the Knicks were like, well, he's got to get closer to the line before we actually foul him, and he knocked down that triple, sends it to overtime. Also, shout out the Knicks fans here. I'm a Philadelphia 76ers fan. The one thing that we pride in this city is defending your home territory. Forget about the teams themselves. You're not supposed to get into Citizens Bank Park, Lincoln Financial Field. It feels like the Knicks are having 7 home games in one series here. So what's the prediction from you, Nikki, on game number 6 in Philadelphia? Are the Knicks fans traveling down I-95 and invading the Wells Fargo Center again?
Yes, 100%. 100%. There's no way that the Knicks are, because first of all, I think Knicks fans are like, okay, the Knicks are going to close this out in 6. There's no way there's a game 7. And these Knicks fans they're like, we're going to be there. We've already spent all this money to try to watch it happen twice already. So let's just go down and see it again. And I think the way that they boo Embiid and like all the F Embiid chants that are going on, like they want to boo him on his home court. Like I think the Knicks fans just like enjoy this, and that's like brings them joy. So why not head down? It's not that far. I really think there's going to be a good contingency of Knicks fans down there. I'm excited to see it.
Nikki's, when Donnie said that he was a fan of the Philadelphia 76ers.
Listen, I'm
that's
from
good
here.
comedy.
I don't like Philly sports. I don't like Boston sports. So, you know.
Listen, I appreciate it, and it certainly should be the colors that you wear. Philly, a 3.5-point favorite for game number 6 tomorrow, back in the city of brotherly love. But, Nikki, as we keep it rolling throughout the New York sports landscape, the Yankees, despite dropping 2 games to the Orioles to start off this series in Baltimore this week, still off to a very strong start. 19-12, the favorites at the moment to win the American League pennant. What has been the reason for the strong start up in the Bronx?
The offense is like night and day from what it was last year. Obviously, there are still guys struggling. Aaron Judge not at his best, but I think Juan Soto just brings like a different energy to this team. It feels like a totally different group. For them to put up 15 runs in back-to-back games, it's like, okay, this is what the offense is capable of. They weren't great against the Orioles. They were 0 for 8 with runners in scoring position the first game, and then they left 4 stranded in the second game. So it was like, okay, that stuff needs to be cleaned up. I'm not too worried about it yet. The pitching has been a lot better than I thought it would without Garrett Cole. So all around, I'm very impressed. And I am nervous that they're the favorite to win the American League. I think the Orioles are definitely a force, and we see that in this series. So I think that's the team that the Yankees need to look out the most for.
Rangers, Knicks, and Yankees in their seasons currently right now. The Giants in the offseason, but we just had the draft here, and there was a key component. Do you take the dominant wide receiver or grab your future quarterback? The Giants went with the wide receiver. What were your thoughts on that, Nikki?
Listen, I was there, and I was like the whole time, like, they're going to take Neighbors. I think if they would have gotten Drake May and they would have been able to trade up for 3, that would have made sense. If you're going to get a quarterback and you're going to get your franchise quarterback, it needs to be one of the top 3 in the draft class. I think J.J. McCarthy's a great quarterback. I think he's going to have success, but I don't know how he would do in this offense, especially there's not a lot of pieces around them. So I think go get your dominant wide receiver. Daniel Jones has never had a dominant wide receiver. Is he the quarterback of the future? No, but he's capable of being okay. So if he could throw passes to Malik Neighbors and Malik Neighbors can get things done, I think that they could be okay this season as long as the offensive line and everything is working around Daniel Jones. I liked that pick. I really like Neighbors. I think he's going to be like an Odell Beckham Jr. type player in New York.
It makes sense from the Giants' perspective if they weren't sold or infatuated with McCarthy or Penix Jr. or Bo Nix to get the best available, and that is certainly Malik Neighbors. Niki Lattarulo from SNY giving us the lowdown on New York sports. Nikki, thank you so much for the time. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.